very warm welcome, dear listener, to The Journey with M. And today we're going to talk about choices. How easy is it to make choices? And do we really have a choice? And we have with us a person who I really like discussing things with. And I feel I can be completely open and brainstorm and think freely and say weird things. And she would say sometimes weird things back and we would laugh. And we eventually reach aha moments. So today we have with us Louise Karlsson. Welcome, Louise.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the nice presentation. Yes.
Who is Louise for our audience? Who doesn't know Louise?
Mhm.
Who is Louise?
Yeah, I think it is always hard to answer these questions about yourself. So maybe I try to do it in third person. Louise is a person who likes to see the good in the world, even though she might be a bit pessimistic at times as well. But she strives for a more unified world and kind of wants to bring different things together. And she has a background in studying art and physical theater, and these are things that she likes to be creative, and is kind of the way of making the world fun and livable. So it's a very necessary thing to find meaning in her world. That to tweak things and create things is a way of making the world meaningful. And she would like to bring art and expression more into the world as a whole, and getting rid of some borders between, for example, in today's society, everything is so categorized. And I think she wants to see more of expression and culture visibly in the world. And currently she is studying preschool teaching, like preschool teaching, that's the children from like 1 to 6. So it's the youngest children, and like how you approach children is also a way of how do you want the world to be. Yeah, I think it's very fundamental to kind of boil down what you actually want the world to look like. And it's also very interesting to be around children and work with them, because it also allows for a very creative environment. When the curiosity of children, it's a very interesting way of exploring the world and deepening and seeing new things as well. So very inspiring for someone who also likes to be creative.
I love this. You even created the title of this episode, The Shoes Chose Me.
Are you sticking with that?
Why not? I'd be curious to know why it came up for you. Do you have something with shoes?
No, I don't think I have anything. I just thought about the word choosing, that it's choose, choice, choose.
Like a word
No,
game.
but I don't know if it's deeper than that, but I guess we should see.
Does it have to be deep?
No.
No. Good. So, is making choices easy for you?
No, I would say that's why I think it's an interesting topic, because it's like daily struggle that never ends. And I think also today there are just so many choices, or at least there's like an illusion of endless possibilities, at least from where I live and have grown up. I and the people around me got so much, like in terms of wealth. But I think it's for many people, it feels like we have education and all these things. So there's not really anything stopping you. But then the endless possibilities are just very overwhelming. And it feels today that we just need to optimize ourselves. It's like this idea of becoming something great. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's so interesting when you say from where we are or in our part of the world, because maybe in other places people don't have so many choices. And I wonder if more choices makes you more happy or more miserable.
Yeah, probably that less choices makes you more happy. But I'm sure that maybe people that don't have so many choices and maybe that are dreaming about something else that's not so possible where they're from, they maybe are dreaming about choices, but maybe that also comes from a point of really knowing what you are missing and then know what you should go after or try to achieve.
It made me feel like maybe the fact that we can long for something or dream of something makes
Mm.
us optimistic or looking forward. Whereas if you have everything available for you, you become like full or satisfied.
Yeah, maybe you dream of something else then. Maybe you dream of like structure.
Yeah, dream of less choices maybe.
Yeah, because I know my sister said that, sometimes she just dreams of being like in a mental institution or something just to get away from all the choices that you
Yeah.
can have. But I mean, of course, maybe you shouldn't aim for that if you don't need it. But
Yeah.
for me as well, I always feel the best when I live like not with many things. I feel maybe the most happy when there are not too many things to handle or take care of.
Yeah. It becomes like kind of symbolic when they say that we're carrying too much baggage or luggage, that it can also be in life, carrying too much choices or too much information. Yeah, more than we need, maybe, or more than we have to, when we can live with really very little.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So, what do you think it takes to make good choices? Like if you had a recipe.
Mm. Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, I think I have a hard time making choices.
Mm.
Like, for example, cooking for me, it's like a non choice. There, I never have an issue choosing. Okay, I don't know. This maybe is not interesting at all, but
Everything is interesting.
okay. Usually I just get the ideas from what I have at home. So that's kind of the process. When I cook, for one, I need to feel what I feel like eating, and then I look what is at home. Then an idea comes, and a meal will happen. And that's maybe nice because otherwise, if you're like, what am I gonna cook today, or what am I gonna eat today? It feels like many people often are having this struggle.
Yeah.
It's like, what should I eat? But then maybe it's also because you think about everything that is possible to eat.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to choose. So it's exactly what we said, that if you have fewer things, it's easier to make a choice.
Yeah. And also, now that you bring up food, I feel like food is like a very instinctive thing, like hunger and the need to eat. It's like a very natural and basic need. So that would be easier than to connect our feelings to it. And too much feelings can confuse us. But I think also at the same time, if you are clear about your feelings and connected to them and your body, then it would be easier to choose. I think the difficulty of choosing comes when you're analyzing too much and you're up in your head.
Yeah, probably. When you go over something on and on to try to come to a solution and you're weighing practicalities in, maybe you're also choosing from a point that this is how people usually do something.
Exactly.
But maybe it won't make you happy in the end anyway.
And so the question is, how much choice do we really have? Because we seem to follow what others do and we compare with them, and we get bombarded by social media to do this and do that. And now also with the algorithms, they actually follow and see what you press on and how long you look at things and provide you with the same. So you become stuck in a loop of choosing maybe the same things.
Yeah, that's, I feel, also maybe plays with our animalistic side. it's so hard to resist. Just for example, like last night, I was just gonna go to bed, and then I thought about reading a bit, and then I instantly went into something, because it's also a way of maybe relaxing, to just consume a bit. For me, I was so happy when my phone was broken this before Christmas. At some point there was the first snow in Malmö coming, and my screen was cracked, and then I was outside, and then it died. And for some days I was completely without a phone, and it was like a super fun adventure, because I went around with my friend little wake up clock, because I don't have a watch. And I remember because we had a test that day, so I just went around in the city with this little wake up alarm clock. That was so nice. And it's like maybe I had other choices to make, like the world got more interesting. I felt like, because I didn't have any security, like looking at the phone.
And you still
So
call
that's
it
also
security.
Yeah, because it's like a way of knowing that you can always reach everyone, or that it's like a little blanket. You don't have to really be fully out in the world. You can also have your own little device with you that you can just go into. Without that, then you need to do other things to make your life interesting.
Yeah.
For example, talk to people.
Yeah. Maybe socialize, meet people, connect. Wow. You describe it so well with having like a false, maybe safe haven, like, oh, my phone, I'll go back to my hub and soothe myself. But really, there's no interaction or development. And yeah, I guess there can be some passive consumption as well, but being aware of that and not being drawn into taking in things that you maybe don't want to take in or that don't feel aligned with your values.
That it's hard to not choose that, or
Yeah, it becomes like a thing playing in the background. You're not really aware that you're consuming it anymore. And as I said before, the algorithm provides you with the same things over and over. So you get pulled into a world that you maybe wouldn't have chosen if you chose more consciously.
It's interesting what you said with a world that you wouldn't have chosen. Maybe also we are just like the algorithms, choosing the same things over and over again, that we have our own like patterns and so on, and maybe we make or continue to make the same kind of decisions anyway. So I don't say that the algorithm is okay then, but
Yeah, that's so interesting. We always
yeah,
go towards safety or what we know.
and maybe also you kind of need to be introduced to other things in order to choose. That could be a way, like maybe consuming someone else's algorithm. No. But
Can I look at your algorithm? That's a good idea. Maybe we should share algorithms.
yeah, and then maybe you would also be so shocked, like
How much we're missing
people-
out on. Or maybe we'll get
Or not.
surprised that we're all pulled into the same direction.
Yeah.
So, how would we apply this to buying a pair of shoes in a shoe shop?
For a shoe shop, like if it's a actual physical shoe shop, maybe it's hard because you know that there are so many other shoes out there in the world.
Yes.
If you're in a shoe shop and something really feels good, comfortable, and it looks not too bad, then I think it's good shoes.
So, maybe that's the answer to the question of the formula of choosing something. If it feels good and comfortable and that you need it at that time.
But I think also for many people, it's different. And that's what we talked about with, for example, when you were talking about what theme we should have. I thought, I don't know, I have to think about it and get back to you. And then we said, okay, but maybe choice could be interesting. And then you're like, perfect, let's go with that.
Yeah.
And I was instantly, oh no, maybe I need to think about it more. Maybe there would be other better themes. And I know we've talked about that before also.
That I tend to jump into, okay, let's do this. And you're like, no, there are many other options.
Yeah. And maybe it's very nice just to choose. instantly. If it feels good, then maybe why look further?
I think now something came up with timing as well, because you just said if something feels good and it's right, then why look further? And of course, you can say, okay, look further because there might be something better out there, and don't fall for the good enough. But I also think that timing somehow plays a role in this. Like, isn't there a reason that you saw these pair of shoes at this moment and they made you feel a certain feeling? Or isn't there a reason that you met this person and you heard something that evoked an emotion in you?
Do you mean like, yeah, in that moment you needed to choose and then something came up?
Yeah, like in that
Or maybe
moment.
a solution in that moment?
Yeah, it's meaningful for you at that moment. And then when time passes, it will not be meaningful anymore.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, that makes it a bit more controllable, maybe, so that we don't feel like we have to make choices all the time. Like when we talked about this pod, that was the time for discussing the pod and choosing, and then you leave it and you move on to the next thing. And maybe something you choose now, you will not choose tomorrow, or you will not choose in a week or in a year.
Okay, but do you think maybe that you choose not to do something 1 year and then some years pass and then you choose to do something?
Let's say, want to buy a house, and I choose not to buy it, and then after a year I choose to buy it.
Yeah, but it's the same house.
Yeah, that's the timing.
I think it's a really comforting. Maybe, okay, now the timing isn't right to do this. Maybe another time the timing will be better to
Yeah.
do this.
Now, even when you say it, I feel like, that's nice.
It's like, it's a bit comforting to know that, yeah, if it's really important, it might come back.
Exactly. Like it's about trusting life or trusting the universe.
And trusting that maybe there are more important things at that moment.
Exactly. Sometimes our mind makes it seem as if this is so important. You have to decide now. It's now or never. It's now, now, now,
And I feel also maybe people, something happens for them that they maybe been dreaming about for a very long time and worked hard for. And then when it happens, suddenly they maybe can't do it anyway. Maybe someone is sick or it's just not the time for it.
Yeah.
I also thought about maybe what if it's like the only chance you get.
But then it's more about acceptance. Like working on your acceptance muscle. Even though I wanted this so much, it can't happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bit sad, but for that timing, that option or choice isn't available. And maybe it will be available in a day or a week or a year.
And other opportunities also come.
Exactly. I really believe that when you accept that a door closes, you are more prone to see the other doors that are open.
Yeah, I think that's true. The problem can also be if you keep all doors half open, which I feel like I often do, then it's maybe hard to open them fully.
Yeah, because in a way, I think we have limited energy. I mean, in one way, we have limited energy, and in another way, we have immense power and energy. But as a human being, we need certain hours of sleep. We need food regularly to sustain life and give us energy. And this energy is kind of limited. So if you send some energy in a half open door here and half open door there, then maybe you don't go fully into something and explore it at its depth. I guess there are different phases in life. And in a phase you have 2 big doors open fully, and in another you have 10 half open, and maybe a period where you're kind of down or depressed, you close all the doors and you lock your bedroom door and you stay inside. So yeah, it's different phases. Is it bothering you that you have half open doors?
I feel I don't have as many half open doors right now. I was very much, it was a bit vague, maybe, and I just had too much time.
Maybe it's also about regulating the creativity and choices we have.
When you said this with when you open a door, you close another door. This saying that in Swedish there's also this saying, den som gapar efter mycket mister ofta hela stycket. The one who screams that they want everything, they will often just
Lose the whole
lose
piece.
it all.
Yeah.
So maybe that also has to do with what you said about energy. If you use all your energy and say, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this,
Yeah.
then maybe
You're throwing it away without a clear direction.
Yeah, I looked it up, and it's the one who's girig, greedy.
Yeah.
The one who's greedy and wants more and more and it's not satisfied what you have, then you risk to lose what you have from the beginning.
Yeah. It reminds me of another saying with the cake. You can't have the cake and eat it, or you can't eat the cake and have it, or something like that.
You just have it in a different form. In your belly.
That's true. So you ate it and you have it.
Yes.
I was going to ask about if you had the choice to have many choices, like you said in the beginning, have a lot of wealth in that sense, living in the West, or if you could choose, having limited choices, what would you choose?
Oh, that's a very hard choice to make. I don't know, maybe I'm very greedy because now it feels that we have all these opportunities, but then it feels very hard to take that away. But I think probably the first option of having less opportunities would make us more happy if we have enough.
Enough
Maybe
to
now
live or sustain life.
Yeah, and that we can feel good and not feel oppressed, maybe. But one feeling is that it would feel as a relief, like weight of having to choose or having so many options, or it feels like we have so many options. Maybe we don't have so many options, really. But it would feel as a relief to live and be happy with what you have. Maybe it's about that it's hard to be happy with what you have, that this society is so much about consumption.
Exactly.
It's also this with like minimalism and people wanting to reduce. I feel like I often long for stricter, not rules, but a stricter framework within my own life to reduce choice.
Yeah. It seems like it depends on what your priority or ultimate goal in life is. And that could be different from one person to another.
But are there only these two choices, do you think?
No, I think there are a range of states or conditions in between them. Yeah, sometimes it's easier to look at the extremes, look at the black and the white to understand. And then you also have to remind yourself that there are shades of gray. I guess it shows you which direction you want to take or what is more important for you in life right now.
Yeah. I have like moved around a lot since maybe I graduated or done a lot of different things all the time, changing environment or like changing the setting, which now feels pretty stressful because then maybe you have started getting to know people or a place and then we go away from there and then you have that door half open and then you've gone to another place. You have that door half open, and in one way it's nice because if you like to see different things and think that's interesting, but in another way it's also, as you say, we have the limited energy, so maybe it's not even possible to try and sustain all of these things at the same time. So maybe then it can be nice just then to, okay, I made this decision, now I'm here, and then just be in that.
Yeah.
And not think, okay, maybe I could go there or maybe I can do this instead.
Doesn't it feel for you like that's the difference between living life broader or living life deeper?
That is the difference.
And that's also different in different phases of life. Sometimes you want to live deeper and sometimes you want to explore and live broader.
It's true, to know where you should go deeper.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's about trying to find out where you want to go deeper. And sometimes you get lost in the exploring, like you forget why you're exploring.
In a trance of just wanting to see more.
Yeah, like you lose substance maybe if you only live on the surface and not go deeper. Because there are different things to learn when you go deeper.
It's like the saying that you should dig where you stand.
Yeah, I think that's a very wise saying actually. Because again, I think there's a reason with the timing why you are standing where you are standing. Okay, Louise, I think now we're standing at the end of this episode, and I want to ask you if there's anything else that's on your heart that you want to share about the art of choosing or the shoes chose me topic.
Before I thought about determinism and if we have free will. I don't know too much about it, but for example, Sartre, the philosopher, says that you always choose. Like not choosing is also a choice.
Yeah. You know, in another episode that I recorded, the guest said a very interesting thing that I've heard before, that things already kind of exist, but we tap into them. So it seems like you chose something. So, like this episode, for example, is already there, and we just chose to be the ones doing it.
Yeah.
He said also about Steve Jobs that it was time for Apple to be invented and that he was the person to be there at that time to carry that invention.
But it's usually like that. Like if you explore something, maybe you also find things that other people have found before that
Yes.
was. And there's also this saying with ideas, like that ideas just pass through and will present itself to you. And if you don't take it, maybe it just moves on and someone else does it instead. Yeah, maybe because you were having too many gaping doors.
Or you were occupied with another idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to thank you, Louise, for this very interesting and philosophical topic discussion. Hope we can discuss another topic in the future that's already out there.
Yeah, I want to thank you also for such a nice experience and welcoming and open environment you create in this podcast.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for all listeners who have tuned in. And see you next time
See you next time.
in the journey of M.
Is it now Kalimba time? Fint.